Hello guys, welcome to my revision podcast on data types. Now, there are various data types in the computing programming language you're going to need to know for your exam. One of them is integer. Integers are whole numbers. So, things like 5, great, we can use that. 768, a whole number, that's fine. 94, a whole number, that's fine. -7, whole number, that's fine. Great. Now, 3.14, decimal point, not allowed. Only whole numbers can be integers. So, what do we call decimal numbers then? We have talked about we call them floats. A float is any sort of decimal number. So, 3.14 pi, yep, that's fine, that's correct. 7.62656, you get the idea, yep, that's fine. 9.8, that's fine. 2.6, that's fine. Now, even integers can be floating point numbers. What's the difference? Well, if they're a floating point number, they have to have a 0.0 after them, like this number here. But this one does. 5 is 5.0, so that is fine as well. Now, a question you're often asked in computing is, why do we have two different types of numbers? And there's a simple answer to this. Say I ask you a question. How many cats do I have? Well, I'm sure you're thinking about that now, but we've talked about strings. If we have writing though, we can use strings. String is a lot of text or characters. So, everything wooden, well that's text, that's a string. Woo! Man, that's a string. I'm all about the bass, no treble. That's a string. Even the number like 7 can be a string. But if you make it a string as in text, it can appear very nicely, but you can't do maths with it or any sort of calculations using it. Okay, so that's a tick, it can be used, but it might not work. And we've talked about Boolean. So, and Boolean is my final one. Booleans are choices. Yes, no, black, white, true, false, 1, 0. So that's a data type where there's only two choices, one way or the other. And that is used for some things. Say you want to test if you found something or not. If you found it or you haven't sort of found it. So, I'm now, guys, going to ask you a few questions. So, we have to pause the video a few times now, okay, while we do this. So have a go at the quiz on the video I've sent to you. Don't forget, the top score in the quiz will win a big bag of Maltesers. Thank you, and good night. Well, the first test. What data type would your age be? Pause it, give it a second, try and work it out, and then press play and I'll tell you the answer. Yep, the answer is integer. You say you are 15 or 14 or 37 years old. You don't say I am 16.3 years, do you? And only sort of really small primary school kids say I'm 16 and a half. I'm 7 next week. So yeah, age is always a whole number, always an integer. Okay? To turn around and say, oh, I've got 3.5 cats. That doesn't work, does it? Things are either one way or another. In some numbers cases, you can't have half of some things. So, that is why we have floats and integers. What data type would you measure medicines in? Again, pause it, think about it, and then we'll see how we get on, okay? Yep, that's right. You've got it spot on. It is, of course, a float or a real. Floats or real numbers have decimal points. Medicines need precision. You're very, very precise when you measure out medicines. So, That is the way to do it, I would say. Use either a float or a reel. In the exam, they call them reels. In the core and the Python, they're called floats. Which one they are, you can decide. Okay, what data type would you use to ask if someone is Welsh? Okay, give it a pause, have a think about it, then see if you get the answer. Yep, that's right. It's actually a Boolean. This question, are you Welsh, is a yes/no answer, which is what a Boolean is. You either are or your answer is a Boolean. Are you Welsh? How do you answer it? Data type? Boolean is the answer. We already had that one. Okay, so guys, today we have talked about data types. We have talked about